It's been years since the massive data breach at Desjardins. Personal information like social insurance numbers, names, and birthdays was stolen from about 9.7 million customers. And if you're one of the victims, technically you're still at risk. That information can be used against you at any time.
In other words, no one is forcing criminals to exploit the data and the personal information right away after they steal it.
So what exactly has changed since then, and how can you keep protecting yourself? The first thing that you need to know is that Desjardins made a ton of changes after the breach. They added a lot of internal safeguards, like more security screenings for employees and better data management. And they aren't the only ones.
We've seen a number of far more public-facing offerings from financial institutions, especially over the last number of years, from like complimentary credit monitoring to really speaking more openly about policies that do safeguard data and privacy.
So it seems like a lot of financial institutions stepped up their game after the breach. But still, like it or not, your data is always at risk to a certain degree. But there are things you can do to mitigate that risk. Number one, stay on top of your accounts. This is a pretty obvious one, but when it comes to your bank accounts or your utilities accounts, make sure you're the only person accessing them and make sure your passwords are strong. Number two, check your credit report. There are two companies that will let you check your credit report for free once a year, and that's Equifax and TransUnion. And looking at these reports, you can see if a credit card is open in your name or if a loan is taken out. Number three, freeze your credit. This is a more proactive measure, and it means that no new credit accounts can be opened in your name until you lift the freeze. Of course, the onus isn't just on you. Institutions that have our data have a huge responsibility, and our expert says that many of them should be investing way more money on prevention and also detection so that they know when they've actually been breached.
Many, if not most organizations, are seeing something like 280 days before they detect a breach. And by that time, the information is gone, people's identities have been exploited.
The federal government is currently working to overhaul cybersecurity legislation. Bill C-26 is slowly making its way through Parliament, and it would oblige certain companies to either update their cyber systems against attacks or face penalties. But in the meantime, experts say that the processes we and companies put in place right now can make all the difference when it comes to keeping our information safe.